Welcome, everybody. I'm super, super excited to be here with this super amazing and strong sister, Poonam. You might actually know her as a jaguarshaman.artstudio in Instagram. So we've just been connecting so deeply and so many synchronicities too. And I'm so grateful for your presence here, sister. So grateful for being here and accepting the call, which is being and sharing part of your story here with me.
Thank you for having me. It's kind of surreal if I'm honest, because I'm usually on the other side. Only recently I've decided to come out and be like, I don't mind talking about myself now, you know? So
Yay.
I'm just really grateful because I know we share so much in many, many different ways. So this is it's like a really nice, beautiful playtime for me, with
Yay.
you. So.
Yay. And in the new moon day. I'm super excited.
Exactly, and I just finished my moon. I just finished my period, my bleed yesterday, so I'm literally in the new moon, if that makes sense.
Awesome. So listen, before we go to starting and sharing, because there was something we were talking about that was so powerful regarding your name. Let's take a couple of deep breaths together to like really connect in the space. So for all of you that are tapping into this, whether it's the video or the audio, feel free to close your eyes if you feel safe. If not, just gazing at one point in front of you. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose and exhale fully through the mouth. A deep inhale again through the nose and exhale through the mouth. One more time, deep inhale through the nose and just hold the breath and begin to relax every single muscle from the bone. Relax your womb, your diaphragm, the throat, the muscles of the face, and exhaling fully. And just coming back to normal breathing and just being in your presence, in your beautiful, amazing presence. Soy reta pakasareni me kakesi kisi. And here in this space, know that everything about you is welcome. Soy retapakasarenina namaka. Everything about you is celebrated. Sai tapakasarenina namaka kesi. And there is also a message that will come through for you. Soy retapakasarenina namaka kesi. Perhaps in the forms of words. Soy tapakasarenina namaka kesi. Or in the space between words. Sai tapakasarenina namaka kesi. Whatever it is, know that you're ready to receive it. Soy de Pakasarenina Namakai Kesi. And whenever you're ready, opening up the eyes. Beautiful. So, sister, we were talking before we started recording about your beautiful name, Poonam, and I actually asked you what that meant. If you don't mind sharing with all of us the stories that you were telling me before we started to record, it would be so wonderful.
Of course. So my name is Poonam. I'm Gujarati. I'm fully Gujarati. I live in London, but as I am what my partner calls like a pedigree Gujarati because all of my bloodline comes from pretty much the exact same place in India. Um, and we've traced, I believe, about 4 or 5 generations down in India to find the ashrams where my family were born. And it's pretty much a dry, very spiritual state. It's very the state of Gujarat, but now obviously it's modernized. It's not a city, um, a coastal place, and in our culture, it's a Hindu culture. In our culture, when even prior the baby is born, we will mark the astrological date when the fetus develops to a point where you can read the life path of the fetus with a psychic astrologer or the shaman or the medicine woman of the community. And typically in our culture, it will be a family friend because it's a community thing. Um, and so they did that with me, as they did with all of my family. And then when I was born, they saw the family priest or the Vedic astrologer, and the name that came was Poonam. And my grandma, my dad's mum, loved it. My dad loved it. My mother loved it because I was born on the full moon. Um,
Wow.
and it was snowing when I was born. It was like 4 foot of snow. And when I was born, I was super pale. They couldn't believe how pale I was for a very, very Indian baby. Let's just say that. Like very Indian baby. And they were like, wow, she's so fair. And I have, very, very dark brown eyes and naturally dark hair. And I was born with super dark hair too. That was a lot of hair. And they were just like, whoa, like, why is her skin so fair and her hair so dark? And when the name Poonam came, the astrologer said, that's a very, very, very heavy name, like Krishna or another Gujarati name, or Ram, another Gujarati name, these type of names, like Lakshmi or like goddess names. Um, and they said if she doesn't live up to this name, because they were reading my chart, she will be sick in her life because it's strong. And then, of course, they chose a name. I'm now 36 and a half, or 36 years old and 7 months. And I can safely say I spent a lot of my life ill. And
Wow.
until I decided to embrace my shamanic path as a psychic medium, as a plant medicine holder, and a wisdom keeper, to live up to this name. And since then, I've never been so healthy.
Yay! Whoa. Thank you for sharing. So powerful. And Punang means full moon. When she told me, I was like, whoa, seriously? Wow, such a powerful, powerful energy, which you already have anyways. So can you share with us, when do you choose to go into the journey consciously to really own the vibrations of your name?
Oh, that's a hard question. As much as I can. There
Hmm.
isn't a limit. It is every day. It is
Hmm.
every single day of life because I feel very fortunate that I'm able to, this is my only work. I only give in the form of my healing and my teaching of the healing
Hmm.
and my readings and my guidance, and now developing my art, which is still through the channels I receive. So as much as I can, there, of course, I'm not perfect, nobody is. There are days where I really struggle to get in that journey,
Hmm.
but I aspire to always make sure that I hold that responsibility to know that if I am faced with another soul and I'm here to give, that I'm giving with that full moon energy, not the half moon. It's like, and I'm notoriously known by my with everyone I work with, and they know this about me. I am so astute and precise with when I give. And if the energy is not right, I do not give. And it could be me, them, the alignment, the collective energy. But for me, I like to be incredibly bespoke with what I see in my clients. And because I don't do any group work,
Hmm.
it's super bespoke with who I work with one on one. So um, if I feel off and I don't feel full or I don't feel well physically for whatever reason, I will not give. And especially if I'm bleeding, I don't work. There is no
Hmm.
way that I work on my bleed. I just don't.
Oh, thank you for honoring that beautiful part of us as women, because there's I'm not sure how it is in London, right? But I lived in Las Vegas and I was
Mm,
working in a hotel because that's where a lot of people they live in Las Vegas working hotels, right? So as a front desk agent.
mhm,
And at that moment, I was not tapped into like the wisdom of my moon, and I will work out. I will not rest. I'll have to work, and then looking back at it, it's like, well, no wonder why I was so cranky. No wonder why I just like didn't want to be around people, and I just felt so like uncomfortable. And there's still so many women out there that don't really, I wouldn't necessarily say that they don't know, because I truly believe there's a part of us as women that we do know, but it's being seen as like, that's like a nasty thing, like women, oh, that's gross, they bleed. And it was very challenging for me to actually heal that part, because even though my ex joked around it, like I know that part of the collective in a masculine like story actually believes that. And it was very challenging to slow down. And then now, of course, I've been like working with my moon for a few years now, and I do the same thing. I don't work if I don't hold space, at least unless that is like totally necessary, if there's like a retreat that happened or some kind of immersion, but I'm still like very like in me. So I do the things, so I have to schedule them and I'll have to like worry about that, so I can like be with myself, receive messages, and just be in that field. So wonderful. Thank you for doing that.
No, thank you as well, because it's the same for me. I had so many issues surrounding my womb growing up and femininity and motherhood because of my mother's um, relationship to me. And so when
Mm,
I discovered the power of womb wisdom, it opened up so much for me that I
mhm,
couldn't go back because
mhm,
I know, like, and you mentioned it so beautifully. I've had times when I've given too much in it, whatever way, whatever capacity, whether it's physically I've worked out too much, mentally I've used myself too much, emotionally I've held too much space for others and I haven't cleansed myself enough. And it's that continuous learning of giving to ourselves and knowing when enough is enough.
yeah.
And that is hard. And I still am working on that. I believe that's probably going to be my forever work. Because when you ask that question, like, so how often do you try to consciously live up to your name? And if I'm really, really, really honest, I can never live up to that name.
Mm,
I can't because it's something that is so deeply, infinitely mysterious and
mm,
unknown that there's no way I can. I can only see the wisdom that I receive from lunar energy and feminine wisdom. But it's like, to me, I see it like the goddess. It's like we can never be the goddess. We can
mm,
only ever experience glimpses, but we can never be the goddess. Never.
mm,
So for me, it's more a case of really honoring and revering the fact that my family named me that, because I think that's where that energy comes. If I'm in resistance of my name, then I'm in resistance to my family, right? And my ancestors. So for,
wow.
so for me, it's more, well, thank you, family, for naming me a beautiful name and just really just making sure I appreciate my ancestors every day. And that is,
Mm,
I think that to me is the most important thing, not me holding that vibration because I'm human, because then it's just about me, right? It's more, okay, it was passed to me. So to me, I see it as I need to make sure I honor my ancestors because then I just get complacent and
mm,
it doesn't suit me. Like, it doesn't suit anyone, and we all get into complacency, but I try not to.
mhm. Wow, it's such a, thank you for sharing. It's such an interesting perspective, because a lot of times I hear, you can actually like embody the goddess energy, right? And hearing from you is like, no, you get glimpses, right? So would you mind just going a little deeper about that? How your experience is about just getting these little glimpses of the goddess energy, for example, or the moon energy, right? And not actually being it, because you're having this human experience.
Yeah, of course. I started working with goddess energy when I was probably like 3 or 4, because, as I said, my family are all Hindu, and I was born in London, so my mum wasn't really religious, but spiritual, and my dad is was basically a hippie. He wasn't born in London, but he's incredibly philosophical and open-minded, and we had our altar at home, and I have a huge family, huge.
Mm.
So I spent a lot of time at my aunt's house, my mum's sister's house, who lived two roads away, and she's very spiritual, and she had her altar. And then sometimes I'd spend time at my grandma's house, which is my dad's mum, who lived 10 minutes away, who also was very spiritual and had her altar.
Wow.
And at home, we had our altar, and I would just see all of my female role models every day light the incense, do their gratitude prayer, and I would see these goddesses, and I would just be like, who are these women? Who are these women? Who are these women pictures? Because I didn't know, right? I was so young. And then my mum would tell me all of the mythology around, like, the yoga mythologies and stuff, which is so, like, it's so interesting being brought up around it and not really understanding it. It's just so normal. It's like, yeah, that's just Lakshmi, or that's just blah, 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 blah. And I'm the oldest child, so, and I have a younger brother and a younger sister. And at that time, I was an only child until I was 7.5. So living with two parents that worked, when I was at home and one of the parents was at home with me, I was so bored. And I started seeing spirits super young, right? When I was 2 or 3, I'd see dead spirits and just different spirits. And so I would just sit, and I decided, I don't remember why, to make my own. Because I would see all the women in my family do that, and I thought, why don't I do that? So then I remember just getting like a picture of Lakshmi from my mum's aura, and then like whatever she gave me, putting it on the floor, and then I decided, oh, I'm gonna wear my favorite Indian outfit as well because I'm so bored, and then and then my mum would dress me up and love it, and then I would just sit in front of it and just kind of just stare because I didn't really know what I was doing. But what I was really doing is I was channeling so much as a kid. And so it was only probably when I was 25 plus when I really got into the research of what channeling was and what it means to work with goddess energy. It was more, okay, I'm now understanding that as a human being, I can open my mental faculties to tap into information fields beyond my own ego. And then I started getting all of this information from different goddesses, and the first goddess was Kali. Kali's always been with me.
Ooh, I got the chills.
And all of the goddesses I work with are like the dark protective goddesses. So Kali or Sekhmet, Ishel, for example. And these fire goddesses are really a route for me in my psychological understanding to gain wisdom of those parts of myself that need to be rebirthed and delve deeper into, like an animal spirit. It's the same thing. And so, really, what is happening when I say I can never be the goddess, I can only have an experience, is I am feeling the energy of something that I've seen a symbolism of, right? Because most of the time we see an image of a goddess. But these images are created from energies that we feel inside. But over time and collective consciousness, when that energy builds up, we can never truly amass to that goddess energy because we are all with this ability to tap into that energy. So if we all collectively can tap into this energy, how can one person ever represent the goddess energy? It doesn't exist. It's a universal multi-dimensional energy. And so the way I see it and experience it is, yes, when it comes and I'm really tapping into that very deep part of myself, let's say if it's Sekhmet or Kali, these days it's pretty much Sekhmet because consciously I like that route of shamanism. that I train and teach and heal with, it's really me understanding and tapping into that energy of collective consciousness, saying, hey, 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 this energy is so vast. It has not been transformed in the world yet because it's still here. Because that's how powerful it is. Can I please bring my cup and have a mug? You know, it's that.
I love
Can I
that.
just have a mug of Sekhmet, please? And so then I'm taking my mug and being like, I need a mug of Sekhmet so that I can deliver that energy to those I'm giving that Sekhmet energy to, so that they can understand that energy and find their own Sekhmet and train with that energy. And it's the same with the Jaguar. It's the same thing. I can never fully be the black Jaguar because it's so powerful. How can I, as one person, be it because I'm a human being? But I can, of course, get into a transcendental state of consciousness, tapping into that energy, take my spirit out, and yes, be an animal body. But that animal body, it has taken me years to even get to that place where it's like that. It's the same with the goddess energy. It's like at the beginning, I would just randomly channel information. But then to get to the point where you consciously know that, okay, if I want it, it's there, and it's like, here's a mug, done. Like, 5 seconds. And I think that is where, because sometimes on the outside, with our senses, we may think, oh, it looks so easy. But really, what it is that we've really truly mastered that part of ourselves so much that we're able to stand outside of it from our ego and be inside of it with our ego, that it's no longer something that we even need to think about. It's just ingrained. And I
Yeah.
think that's where we as humans take our light body and impact the world with it. And we just
Totally.
become one. So that
Yeah.
is the way I see it. It's like when we are channeling, we are seeing glimpses of how we are one, and we experience that oneness, and then we come back out. Because if we experience that oneness every second of every day, we would be living in a mountain and only doing that. Because that's what they do. And then
Yeah.
that is real, right?
Yeah,
And that's choice.
totally.
And the thing is, I 6 years ago, I was channeling so much, to the point where I went through so much life change. I was so close to doing it, to joining this sect in India, renouncing and being like, you know what, I'm actually ready. Because, and now when I think of it, I'm like, whoa, like I don't think I can ever. I know this sounds so trivial, but it sounds so silly now. But I was in such a, I think I was the most Poonam then, because I was so detached from any material identity or myself. And like quite literally, I'd left a career, I'd left a marriage, I'd left a home. I literally only had possessions that I needed, and I sold everything. And I was traveling and learning and growing, and I thought, wow, like maybe this is my destiny. I think like I don't I have this inclination maybe that this is my path, because all I did every day was meditate all day every day, and my parents were like, oh my god, like she's like, because I had to move home for a little while, and it was just such a bizarre and beautiful time of life where my consciousness was so clear. It was like, that's why I just think, oh my god, had I had done that, I wouldn't be here right now. But I'm so happy I didn't, because of course I that wasn't my path anyway. It wasn't.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that is when I really understood how people can do that.
Mm.
I've never understood it. Never. I think
Mhm.
for a very brief moment of time, I had a little understanding, but that's it. That is
S-
all.
So many synchronicities with us because I felt a call to do that, and I went to India to do a Kundalini teacher training with one of my teachers, and wow, that was a trip that totally changed my life. But at the same time, even prior to that, I was meditating so much every day, and sometimes just sitting right in front of my altar because I didn't know what else to do in a way. So I would just
Mm.
sit and just like go somewhere else. And I was not grounded whatsoever. I was just in the ethers, and even my Kundalini teacher would look at my eyes and he would say, "You're like a balloon. You need to ground." But I just enjoy being out there so much. And then one of my teachers said that he was going to have, or he was thinking about having some kind of retreat just in the caves in India, and just meditating there for a couple of weeks or something and just eating peanuts and water. And I was like, yes, sign me up for that. I definitely want to do that. And I realized that for me, at least, that comes so easy. Like I can just be like alone by myself and meditate and just find things in nature or just like a really small community. But my challenge in this life was to be like in like this kind of way of living it, because this is where like a lot of healing came through, but it also to be of service because I realized if I'm in the mountains, sure, I'll be of service to the collective energy and stuff, but how would I be able to actually hold space for somebody that really needs that kind of support? I wouldn't, So then I was like, yes, I definitely came, and it also shows in my birth chart that I came to do this work, to be around community, not to isolate myself, because that's a
Mm.
tendency that I used to have big time and at times still comes through. So it's so interesting. And working with the Jaguar, I also work with the Jaguar. He came through for me in 2019 when I was like bringing back to life my shamanic drum. One of my teachers was guiding us through this meditation of the Jaguar, of the spirit animal. And that's when the Jaguar came through. And when you were sharing about that, I'm wondering because I know there's a community in the UK too for this sound healing, and it's called Inner Dance. Have you heard about Inner Dance?
No.
So it is. I honestly feel, in my experience, it's like portals and portals and portals beyond a portal that it takes you back into, it's taking me back into deep story of humanity, but also of my lineage and connecting so much deeper with my spirit animals, with my actual with Arcturians, with my guides, with wisdom keepers, and etc. So about a couple years ago, I was doing a training online with my dear sister Serena. She's like a mastermind behind the inner dance music. And I'm not even sure what we're like doing that week, but during that journey, I actually went into the body of a jaguar. And I
Mm.
was like feeling like his paws, and how he walks and how he looks. And it was really wonderful. Like it just like came so deeply because I was at that moment we had just moved here to Kansas and I desired so much just to be in the forest. I wanted to be in the forest and I didn't want to have anything to do with a lot of people. And I could tell, like, the Jaguar was coming through to give me that strength too. Of like, we can be here, you can be here. So it's really a wonderful sound healing, and also for any of those that are listening to. And some of you might actually have had the experience with me because I facilitate that too. But it mimics the waves of the REM sleep. So you're in like a wakeful dreaming state,
Mm.
super aware. I mean, some people actually fall asleep, but like super aware, and there's something that you're working through. If you go into the journey consciously with that intention and super open to receive or see whatever it is that you're meant to, like honestly, you do receive it. And I think that you will just go so deep in that. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, for me, because I love stuff like that, and it was stuff like that that got me meeting my first masters.
Mm-hmm.
because I would go to these group workshops, and this was over 10 years ago, and I would be in my own journey, but then I would see everybody else's journey as well. I knew
Mm-hmm.
exactly where everyone went and who their spirits were. And then I had a few women, and they were like medicine women or shamans, and they were like, "You're ready. Why are you not? Why are you not giving?" And I'm like, "I'm not ready yet. I'm just not ready yet." And they were like, "No, but you are meant to be a shamanic medium. Like you are meant to step into that jaguar. Why do you not
Mm.
want to step into her?" Um, and then it was like I said with the channeling. Before, I needed the sound healing to get to that place,
Mm-hmm.
but my work here on this earth and the work I give to my clients isn't the goddess work, because that isn't it. I get the goddess through my jaguar.
Mm.
I'm only the black jaguar. I will find other spirits through my jaguar, but she is in me all the time. So when I
Mm.
wake up, it's like I have a sister, a Toltec sister of mine, who also works with black jaguar, and it was so funny. I messaged her, and she said, I've been watching you. I've been watching you for about 4 years. And I said, how jaguar like? Because the black jaguar we will watch, but through feeling, and we know who's gonna come without seeing years before they come. And then
Mm-hmm.
her tradition is different to mine, and then we had a connect, like we connected online, and she goes, you know, you are now in that jungle, because from my masters, or what they have said is, if I want to be a Panthera shaman and actually hold that title of shaman and not medicine woman, because I'm not medicine woman. That's the thing. I'm not. I'm a shaman. And the
Mm-hmm.
difference is, what they said to me is that you can only call yourself that if your jaguar has come and you are still in that jaguar's body. And that's
Mm.
it. You have merged. And that it has been so hard for me to explain,
Mm-hmm.
and myself, because I found that so heavy, like the moon, because I see my jaguar as that moon. It's like, am I going to be in her pores? Because I was always experiencing her pores, being in her body, and then I would come out. I would go
Wow.
in, I would come out, and then it would just happen without anything during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And then now it's like it's one of those things why I decided to call myself the Jaguar Shaman, not because of the name and how it sounded, but of this understanding of this is the path. Because I had many other spirit guides, and I was really confused before, because I thought, why am I channeling all these goddesses? Da, 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 da. But I wasn't grounded in my panther. Like, my jaguar, she wasn't. I had to fully call her and say, look, I'm ready to be in your whole body. Like, I know sometimes I come in and I dream, and I go in, and we'll be sleeping on top of the tree. We'll be, walking. Sometimes if I'm in a journey, I'll be with my partner in the jungle, or I will go and I will be teaching some of my students in the dreams as her.
Mm-hmm.
But now it's like it's a thing of, no, my life is a jungle now. And that is what that sister of mine said to me. She goes, when you integrate, your life becomes a jungle, and you just are that jaguar. She is with you. She never separates from you. She's just
Mm.
always there. And so
Mm-hmm.
when you mentioned that sound healing, it just reminded me so much of my experiences then, because I would go so deep and get into so many different animal bodies and get so freaked out. Because no, I would, because I would be like, why am I continuously going? Like, what am I seeking? Why don't I just stay?
Mm-hmm.
And that is something I said to actually a shaman in Mexico last year when I was living there. We did a ceremony. I didn't give a ceremony; he was giving ceremony, and he was giving a tapasquite ceremony of a plant form of DMT. I had not done it before, but I was called to do it, and I was the only one in that ceremony. Everyone else did Cambo, and then it was supposed to be me and two other people in this ceremony, but it didn't align, and it was just me in this ceremony, just me. And then everybody had done their ceremonies, they'd done their everything, um, and they were just watching. They're all just watching to see what would happen because they could feel me, right? Feel me. And he was like, "What is your intention?" And I said, "My intention is that I don't, I just don't want to keep going back and forth anymore. Like, my intention is just to make peace with the Jaguar I am here. Like, I don't
Mm-hmm.
need to go back in my past lives anymore. I've already gone. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want to keep going forward in time to see something that I can't control. Like, I just want to make peace with the Jaguar I am now." And then he laughed, and then he did his prayer. Then I smoked, because you have to
Mm-hmm.
smoke it. And because I don't know if you've had
Mm-hmm.
DMT,
Yeah.
but everyone was expecting me to like completely trip out for a long time. But I ended up having had a few like puffs, and then he looked and he goes, "You want more?" And I said, "No, it's enough." And I smiled, and he smiled. Then he left me, and then another lady was a snake medicine woman was
Mm.
playing the guitar, singing medicine songs, which was so beautiful. And then my whole reality just melted. You know, like the fabric of existence just went.
Yeah.
I laid down. I closed my eyes, and I could feel that my entire soul went out. And then what I was told was 1 minute. I came back in, I opened my eyes, felt my body, cried because I felt like a baby. I just felt so
Mm.
joyous. Looked up at the leaves and I could hear all the medicine songs of just the ground, the leaves, the trees. I looked at everyone, I could see all of their animal spirits around their bodies, all of them.
Wow.
And then I just sat up and I started laughing. And then everybody was just looking at me, being like, "Are you okay?" And I said, "I'm wonderful. I'm done now. I'm done." And they were just like, "But it was just 1 minute." Like, and I said, "Yeah, like I'm here, and it's beautiful what I saw, but I didn't. I needed to come out and come back in again with those fresh eyes and
Mm-hmm.
just remember the clarity and just to cleanse and be like, actually, my energy has been focusing in so many places psychically, and that's too much.
Yeah,
And if
for
we want to
sure.
make peace with who we are in this life, or if we want to, let's say, live up to who we're meant to be, then I feel like we're still in a trap because
Mm.
there is no living up. We just live, right? It's one of those things. If we really want to make peace with who we are in our bodies, who we are in our minds, who we are as human beings, then we cannot keep trying to go to different places because then we're still dissociating, even
Yeah.
with our energy, right? So
Yeah.
we just make peace with, okay, this is it.
Yeah.
You know, we just
Sure.
keep, like, we wake up every day and we brush our teeth, and we just keep waking up every day and we brush our teeth. That's it.
Yeah. Wow. This is such a powerful share. Thank you so much. And I'm feeling it so deeply. It's almost like when you were sharing, I could see it all happening and also like feel the feels. It's so wonderful. Thank you for doing what you do. Is beyond powerful. And there's a question that came through. Do you believe that we all have a spirit animal like that? And it's just about really opening up those channels to receive, to work with the spirits? Or do you believe that, or maybe based on your work, do all people have the animal spirits, or is it just for different people?
Hmm. That's a really good question because that's something I was quite confused with in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But what I've researched is because I have different teachers from different traditions of the
Mm-hmm.
Jaguar. And some traditions will say that it depends on the reincarnation because if you believe in reincarnation, then you will understand this if you're listening. But it's more a case of if the Jaguar has come so strongly in this life, and the Jaguar was with you in the last life, and the last life, and the last life, then your soul's spirit has always been that spirit shaman. So
Hmm.
your your soul has always been a spirit
Wow.
as a shaman through bodies, and that's who you are, and that's why you are with that animal because that is that is how your energy is always transforming life after life after life.
Mm-hmm.
And then others will say, well, actually, we have a choice. We have a choice to say, okay, do we want to predominantly work and master on this one animal that we have found and go down that route?
Hmm.
But for me, I would say, no, first of all, everyone can work with animal spirits.
Mm-hmm.
They represent different facets of our consciousness. Number two, it depends on your life and the lives you've had anyway. Because I know I've had lives on earth where I wasn't giving any of this.
Mm-hmm.
But I know predominantly I've had 5 lives on this earth as a black jaguar shaman already.
Mm.
And the only reason I'm back again in the same spirit is because it has never left.
Mm.
So I'm just continuing an energy that I've always continued, and it's not something I can change. It's something that was with me when I was born. It's something I saw. It's actually something my mother also has, and my whole mother line uh, have black jaguar because of the curses we've had in our bloodline with our
Wow.
womb, and that has taken me so long to figure out. Not just
Yeah.
myself, but with my teachers and just with experiences and trance states and just understanding who I am because it was so confusing before because I just had so many animal spirits and I wasn't grounded at all.
Mm-hmm.
But then I came to think, okay, no, but I realized that okay, this is why this is for me.
Yeah.
And every single time I've been able to tap into a plant medicine or certain plant medicines come to me is because I've done it before in the same way with the jaguar, and I will only use and sing the medicine songs of the black jaguar to the plants that respond with the black jaguar. That's it.
Mm.
So I'm quite limited in my work. I don't open to anything else anymore because I don't need to. Because the
Mm-hmm.
moment I realized this is it,
Mm-hmm.
that's when the real work began. Because I couldn't
Yeah.
accept it before.
Mm-hmm.
And because I didn't understand who I was. I was like, am I a yogi? Like, what's this label? But I'm like, I'm born into this yogic family, but I'm not a yogi. Like, it was really confusing,
I can
but
imagine. Yeah.
I'm not. I'm born into a yogic lineage. Um, I'm born into a family of psychics, but I am the shaman of my family, and my family are a yogic lineage. That is who I am.
Awesome. And I love how you own it, you know, and I'm sure it took courage and like so much time to just like be with that and accept it, right? Accepting your gifts, accepting who you are, right? And the Jaguar too. And it's so interesting to hear you just working with the Jaguar energy and how many lives you had that with this energy. And the reason why is because last year when I was in Peru, so I spent about the last 3 months of the last year in Peru, really deep, doing a lot of work, hosting a retreat, and also a training. But what I got out of those experiences and really deep with a lot of like intuitive movement and also with the medicine of cacao was that my energies resonate so much with the serpent energy and with the jaguar. And I actually saw them uniting because I knew, I mean, and even people were telling me like you have like the serpent energy within you. And at times when I will get into trances before when I was still tapping and opening up more to the channeling abilities, um, like I will move like a snake and I will make sounds like a snake. And at times the jaguar will come through. But then I saw them actually merging in my system. And it was a wonderful thing. And I saw how much like the jaguar for me is my masculine energy. And the serpent is my feminine energy. And I saw them both. I saw the jaguar sitting and the serpent going around the jaguar and just like hugging the jaguar, and they were both looking at each other going like you know. And I was like yes, you know, they're like they love each other. So from that moment on I was like yeah, I'm gonna embrace these energies and I'm gonna let them come through and not put labels on them, you know, just let them surprise me and opening up to the wisdom that is there. And I also feel it so deeply, like you were saying, you know, that it's not the first lifetime that I've had with these energies or what I do, right? Because there's a reason why something that we do and it comes so easily, there's a reason why it comes easily because it's not a first time doing it. Just like with you know, with the Jaguar energy and just working with those energies, and that consciousness, having so many lifetimes upon lifetimes with this beautiful energy and holding space for others and through that field is wow, is phenomenal. So thank you for doing that. I'm sure that you know I'm sure that the journey was maybe rocky at times and very blissful at times. Thank you.
Well, don't thank me. Thank you for listening because, I mean, it's still rocky. It's been a difficult life. You know, I've spent the last real 4 years of life happy
Mm.
or getting happier, but prior that, it was just chaos in all forms, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, because I was still finding myself, still training,
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
I'm still training. It never ends,
Right,
right?
right.
So it's as much as, and I really resonate what you say because it's like, yes, we can talk about and this and use words, but the reality is we if we start attaching onto labels, we can never really be anything because we're always changing. And
Mm,
it's I never want to glamorize this because it comes with a heavy responsibility of
totally.
carrying um, the lessons that I have to learn, right? And
Mhm.
that's okay because that's my karma. That is what I was meant to learn.
Right.
And it goes deeper and deeper into why all these things manifested in my life or generated themselves to show me, hey, you're not actually learning this lesson. And I just find it interesting because I think I'm very young in this, super young,
Mhm.
and because I am, you know, I've only been really living up and really giving the work as I should for a couple of years
Mhm.
because I still wasn't with my Jaguar. Like I was doing this work, but I wasn't fully grounded in what I
Mhm.
really had to do. Um, and I believe that's when it all comes to you. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, like the work, not when I say wealth, I don't mean riches. I mean wealth, as in, I don't believe when you're truly in your flow of what you're meant to be doing, you won't struggle.
Mm.
Yes, obstacles will come, but I found anyway, every time I resisted this path, or I wasn't living up to it, if you want to call it that, or I was still training, of course the clients didn't come. Of course I would struggle to earn money because I
Yeah.
wasn't doing what I was meant to do. I was still going through what I was going through. And slowly and slowly and slowly, you clear yourself and you break away from these patterns and you realize actually there is a reason why people say you have to stay on one path.
Mm.
And I've been in huge conflict with this path because it didn't, and that is the reality. I didn't want to be on a shamanic path. Like it was so confusing to me.
Mhm.
There was so much generational and bloodline conflict with it
Mm.
that it was like, oh no, I can't be on this. And I would fall off it and I would resist it and I would not want to do these type of services and I didn't want to do the shadow work anymore for people and guide them and all the rest of it. And then I would get, I don't know, like other qualifications in like other healing modalities, whether it's like tantra or reiki and all these things which I love, but predominantly that is not what I'm here to do. And
Yeah.
that has taken me so long to realize,
Mm.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
And it's more now I know, I guess I'm at a point now where I know I don't need to be giving a healing service to be giving the energy of the Jaguar energy that I'm meant to give.
Mm.
And that has been the key for me into really grounding into this body,
Mhm.
accepting my body, like really feeling that self assurance, knowing that, well, I'm here now. Like I'm
Yeah.
actually in this body and I don't need to do that dance anymore. Like I don't need to be known as a shaman to give my energy of the Jaguar. I don't need to be known as anything because
Yeah.
actually I'm already in the jungle. I am the Jaguar when I can't wake up early in the morning, you know? I am the Jaguar when because typically I am, I do just want to play most of the time
Mm.
because that is my dynamic with life. I wait and then I just respond. That's it. And that is actually something I have to give great honor to my Toltec Jaguar sister who reminded me when I spoke to her and she goes, and you are just a Jaguar playing in the jungle, aren't you? And I'm like, oh yeah, yeah I am. And she goes, don't forget that you're in a concrete jungle in London. She said, you might think you're a human and you are a human, but you're just a little Jaguar playing in a concrete jungle.
I love that so much.
And I'm like, yeah, literally, I'm just playing. And that's when this whole decision of, okay, I'm ready to invest in an art studio and give
Mhm.
because that is that is the medicine.
Mhm. Yeah. Wow, thank you so much. There's so many parts where I was like, yes, 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 yes. And I love what you said that when you're actually in your path, things come easily.
Mhm.
And the work that it gets it takes to get there, right? Like you were saying, you were doing all this work before, and until you accepted the Jaguar and accepted the journey of the shaman, then it just things like came, and there was no that forcing, and like you're saying, even like getting clients, right? And I love the way that you express it, because a lot of times, and I've seen this, I mean, I still see this in different communities, that people just want to offer something they haven't figured out on their own. And so they're like, I can't really think about an example right now, but they want to offer this course, and it's like, all right, like, well, how did you get to this solution in the course within yourself, right? To offer it, like, oh, I'm still figuring out. I'm like, wow, I mean, yes, I feel that at times we move intuitively, right? But for me, at least, and it might be very similar for you, like what I offer is what I have figured out in my life, like the shortcuts that I did, what worked for me, and also obviously what hadn't worked for me, because I realized there are many things will resonate with people, and many things that did not resonate with me will resonate with others, right? But the fact is that taking this journey and honoring your journey means that you will go through many different routes in a way to find yours. And once you find it and you feel it, then there will be no struggle. And then you will know, oh, I'm here now. And I'm grateful that I took all these little routes to get me here. But now I totally understand what, like you were saying, totally understand how all these things that I had tried before did not work out very well, but now I'm here. And then I have this formula that I went through in order to get to this point in my life that I can share with others. And that's where like the real work, like you said, begins to like kick in. And so it's super powerful what you said. And like really grateful that others can also hear that and know that if you're in your journey, right, and then you feel like if maybe you're a healer and you don't have many sessions kicked in or all these things, perhaps you're still finding out the way, right? And just having the patience, and I am super excited for you about your studio, because I saw that in Instagram, and that's just like, when I saw it, I was like, yay, amazing. Can you share a little bit of that with us, please?
Of course, and thank you. Thank you for your support. It means a lot because it's so scary.
I bet. Yeah.
Um, so I'm still giving healing, like I'm still giving my therapy, traditional to the Jaguar shaman style, if you want to call it that. And you can find me on Instagram at the Jaguar Shaman. It's still there, but I have an account which used to be the Jaguar Shaman, which I've created, thejaguarshaman.artstudio. And I, since super young, probably 3 or 4, my passion was to be an artist and a writer as well, write my books and create my art. And I've never stopped. I've always like developed my art throughout my life. I've never been a time where I've stopped drawing or painting. And I had this crazy. I mean, you need another whole podcast episode for this story. But on my 36th birthday in January, a huge opening happened for me where I managed to really heal some and change some multi-generational grief of my dad's side. And it was holding me back from really doing and giving what I really, really, really want to give in this world, in this life. And that was my art. And I decided, I said, I'm going to continue this work, but I want to get to a place where I'm selling my art, I'm writing my books, I have a family, and I can still offer the private retreats that I do for clients around the world, but I won't be having as many sessions as I do now. And that is something that I really, really, really wanted. And then I had no idea that it was even possible for me to own an art studio, because that thought didn't even come in my brain, if I'm honest. And then one day, we went to an open day in London, near where we live, by the river, of course, by the water, this huge vortex of 500 art studios, this beautiful community where they do so much there. It's so amazing there, the energy.
Wow.
And I met these amazing artists, and I met this one lady, and she said, "Hey, you need an art studio. You need to get serious." And she said, "No one's gonna take you seriously. Everyone's gonna think you're wasting your money. But because I was speaking to her for more than an hour. So she's like, you know that you need your own private space to just create. And this is how it's changed my life." And she
Mm.
wasn't telling me what to do, she just inspired me so much. And now she's such a good friend of mine. And people have been waiting, I'm telling you, 2 or 3 years to get a studio there. I waited 2 weeks.
Ah!
Because, like I was saying, when it's on your path, it's on your path, and the universe will just bring it. And I
Yeah.
happened to just get this studio right under her studio. So she's just up the stairs from me. And I just still can't believe it's mine, because it's this new, it's now the cave. It's everything I've ever wanted in my life.
Mm.
More than anything in the world, more than kids, more than a partner, just this. And I know it's so important for me to give the 100% of the Black Jaguar. So now I guess I'm really focused now on filling up the space. I'm now gonna get some furniture, paint some furniture up, put some stuff in. I moved some stuff in yesterday. This is like completely brand new.
Mm.
And I paint ancestors and animal spirits of people. So I have a few projects I'm working on now with some clients I work with already. And I really love animal spirits so much. Like, I love them, and I've always loved them. And so what I will do is I will either illustrate or paint a deceased ancestor in an animal form,
Wow.
or and it will come through, or I will paint the animal spirit of the person, and it comes through differently. And then I will channel like the crystal with it and some guidance. And so when somebody receives it, the art is a ceremony,
Mm.
and it's almost like I go through a ceremony creating the art, and then when I deliver it, then the person will then go through their ceremony to get to that painting.
Wow.
So it's like a portal and a portal and a portal. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I only discovered this a couple of years ago, but it wasn't precise yet. But now, because I've drawn like a lot of my dead ancestors in form,
Mm-hmm.
I've seen in the eyes of what I've painted that it's them, and it's shown me, wow, okay, this is 100% me. Like, this is really the deepest
Wow.
point of where I think I can just enjoy my life. I know it sounds so silly and egotistical, but in a way of,
Not at all.
I just think I'm 36, and I know we spoke about this on my podcast when you were my guest, which, by the way, everyone listening, you have to listen to because she's amazing.
Thank you, sis.
There's so much wisdom. But I've been, me and my partner have been talking again about kids, and we both really want kids, and we're not ready yet. And I'm still young, I'm 36, but I would like around the age of 40 or early 40s, when I have kids, to be just creating my art,
Yeah.
because that is just the dream now, just create the
Mm-hmm.
art, bang the drum and create the art. That's it. Make some wands as well, and make some wands, make some crow wands.
Yeah, that's so beautiful. Wow, so many blessings for you. And I mean, feel that in a way you don't even need them because you're so blessed already, and then you're so in your path that like everything would just come through. And what a beautiful offering from like the deep energies of consciousness that you offer others. And that's wonderful. So can people actually, when they get in contact with you through Instagram, will they be able to purchase one of those from you, or it has to be in person?
Oh yeah, of course.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, if you message me, all I need to do is connect with you,
Hmm.
feel you, and that's it. Because then I start my journey in you, and then the channel comes through, and it comes, and I offer, at the moment, it's illustrations or canvases, and it's different sizes. So it's like, if you want an illustration, that's a lot more inexpensive,
Hmm.
and I think the price I put it was, yeah, I think £50 or £75, and you receive a crystal with it and like some psychic guidance, and that gets sent to you. And it's an original, it's not a print. It's
Hmm.
literally your blueprint that you're getting sent. And then if you want a canvas that's bigger, they're different prices, and that's it. Like, it depends on what people want. I mean, if sometimes ancestors come through, and I'm doing one at the moment for a sister of mine, and it's like her, she has Navajo ancestors that come through. So I'm actually going to paint one of her guides with the animal spirit with that guide that's been.
Mm.
And so, yeah, they just need to contact me, and I
Amazing.
just need to connect, and literally that's it. The time it takes depends on what you would prefer. So, obviously, with an illustration, it will take a few weeks.
Hmm.
Doesn't take that long. If you want color, maybe a little bit longer. But with a canvas, I do quite big canvases. They can take 2 months, 3 months, because they can take
Wow.
like 300 hours.
Yeah, I bet. And
So,
you can ship this all around the world.
yeah. And
Amazing.
if you're in the UK, it's easier. If you're in London or like near London, I can even come and like drop it to you and meet you. I don't mind, because
Amazing.
I like to travel. So yeah, it just depends.
Awesome. That is so exciting. So please get in touch with her. I mean, that's I'm already thinking. I'm like, I need to like order mine.
Oh yeah, would you like me to draw the snake? And hello, hello. So I have another. I'll show you. One second.
Yes.
There's someone with me. Come on.
Oh, hello, dear. Oh. I'll show you our beautiful puppy, but I cannot carry him. He's too
Okay.
big. That's amazing. Thank you so much. So this is part of your offering, to have the drawing or the design. And can you talk a little bit more about other offerings that you have, just so people know and they can reach out to you if that they feel the call?
Yeah, for sure. So I can. If you find me at the Jaguar Shaman, you'll find my website. And if you're international, that's okay. I work online, and I can give online what I call shamanic counseling. So, really, it's guidance, it's therapy, and healing in one. I do exorcisms, I cut
Mm.
cords, I do depossession, I do clearings. But predominantly, when people work with me, I will take you to what's called your exorcism through work that can last years. So
Yeah.
I actually work with clients for over years,
Mhm.
and we'll see each other maybe twice a month or once every week. And what we do is we take a really, really, really slow journey to unravel. And we
Mhm.
start from the head, and we go all the way in, and we
Mm.
connect the mind, body, and spirit. And so if you're If you want a clearing, of course I can do clearing, because my speciality is all of this, depossession, cutting cords, entity removal. But a lot of my clients, they struggle with, their day-to-day life and the integration. So you
Mm-hmm.
don't need to be a spiritual person to work with me. Anyone can work with me no matter where you are in your life journey. It's more a case of, let's get you to your inner truth and on a path of your heart.
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of my clients tend to be executives or people in the public eye, because we really start from scratch
Mm-hmm.
to get to that place. So that is my offering. It is a high value offering. I don't really do any in person work in London anymore, unless you know me, because a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people know me in certain communities. But I can do it, but I don't do it as much. And I do in home retreats. Sorry,
Amazing.
that is a new. Basically, we've got a new cat. Let me just, for people who are watching, I have a new black cat. He came into our life yesterday, and he won't leave us alone.
I'm saying hi. The cat energies around.
And so what happens is my clients will either fly me out, and I'll do like week-long plant medicine retreats with them,
Amazing.
healings, or I'll go in home in the UK. So I have clients that are in the UK, and I'll stay with them for a few days, and we'll really go deep with the integration
Mm.
ceremony and the healings. And so really, I don't, how do I put this? I don't have a set offering.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on my website, you'll see what I can do. But the best thing to do is reach out to me, because I create bespoke plans for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Because I am really focused on a very easeful journey for you. There's no set time. We just go on the journey.
Mm.
It's not one of those things where I just give energy healing, because I've always integrated it with counseling, because it's the processing and the integration and the mindset work and the emotional recovery as well. So I combine all of that, and we just see where we go.
Mm. Sounds so wonderful. Yes. So is it better to reach out to you from the Jaguar Shaman on Instagram?
Yes, please. I mean, you can reach out anywhere. I mean,
Okay.
whether it's the art page, the Jaguar Shaman page, any the Jaguar Shaman, you will find me and reach out, because I'll probably message you back saying, thank you for reaching out. Here's my WhatsApp number. Let's arrange a Zoom call. Because I like to connect. Like for
Mm-hmm.
me, it's, we need to feel comfortable. We need to build the trust. And it doesn't matter
Exactly.
where you are at in your life, whether you're a practitioner and you want to develop your skills, whether you have no spirituality and you just want to heal yourself. To me, it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't matter. It's more, if you feel aligned to work with me and I feel happy to work with you and we're both happy, we begin. And it can look like anything, because no one session with me, with anyone, is the same.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Ooh, so good. Okay, so no worries, you guys. I will put the links down below. So you just do a little click and you can reach out to this wonderful sister, Poonam.
Sorry, that is a cat. Thank you.
Yeah, so I will just like put it down below. You can reach out to our beautiful sister Poonam and get in touch with her and see what comes through. I'm super grateful. Thank you for your time, and thank you everybody for listening and tapping in. I'm so grateful for your support. And let's just close the space with a couple of breaths, and let's take a deep inhale through the nose. Exhale fully through the nose. And just one more time, deep inhale and deep exhale. And just giving so much thanks for your beautiful journey, sister, for all your offerings, for just you being in this planet with us at this moment in time, for all of you also there listening, for being in your journey, for doing what you're doing, for being you, the rawest, most authentic version of yourself, honoring so much in this journey. And thank you so, so much.
Oh, that was beautiful.
Thank you,
Thank you.
sister. Thank
I really
you.
appreciate you.
Yeah, I appreciate you
And
too.
everyone listening, I really appreciate you as well for taking the time.
Yes, thank you, everybody. I'll see you next time.